Good people, welcome to another episode of Farm with Paul. And on this episode, we are going to talk about breeding. And what is breeding? How do we do selection? And what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of breeding? Here at Farm with Paul, we ensure you have the quality information to be able to guide you in making a decision in profitable farming and ensuring you make a living from farming. One thing is, a lot of people have been inquiring on what is a pedigree cow, what do you breed my cows, and what should I use to determine what I'm going to breed my cows. Follow us as we dive into breeding and be able to learn through examples as I show you from our cows on some of the activities that we check on are some of the traits that we check on before we breed for our future cows. See you, and don't forget to follow us on YouTube at Farm with Paul and also on TikTok at Farm with Paul so that we can be able to enlighten you each and every day in this farming journey and also enlighten those who want to join in the farming business. See you as we dive in and talk more about breeding. What do we mean when we say breeding, and what do you define genetics? In simple terms, breeding is the selection of the father and the mother to determine the genetic potential of the offsprings. Now, and when it comes to genetics, these are the good characteristics. And when we talk about breeding and genetics, the simple thing that we actually want to achieve is longevity in production and also health. And when we talk about longevity is having maximum amount of production, let's say for example milk when it comes to dairy cows, and ensuring your cows have a perfect health that will also reduce your cost of production. Now, when it comes to selecting your cow for breeding, what will you check on to ensure that you have the best selection? What is supposed to be determining the selection of your cow will be determined by the mother. And for you to be able to have the best selection, you must have proper record so that you can be able to do proper breeding. Advantage of a records is because it will help you in determining and knowing what you want in the offsprings of a certain cow. For example, if you check on a cow that probably is shorter than you expect, you will actually select a bull that is a bit longer. I'm going to show you in practical with other cows on how you can select. But one thing you should know is genetics is very useless if the factor of fodder is not factored in. And what I'm trying to mean is genetics, if kept in the correct environment, it can be maximum profit. Whereas if you keep genetics under wrong environment, that means the opposite is also true. So when it comes to ensuring that you have your genetics of production, your genetics in terms of diseases, environment is a key factor. When we talk about environment, we are talking about your management factors. We're also talking about feeds, balanced feeds, which also include clean water, which also include balanced fodder from energy, protein, carbohydrates, and also comfortability of where your cows stay. So tune in as we also go through some of the factors and how you can be able to select a cow, a bull that is supposed to serve your cow for future production. I'm going to show you practically, and also I'm going to show you how you can be able to actually select. For example, for those who have who call their vets for production purposes and they are not able to select the semen, I'll show you a practical way where you can be able, no matter if you are keeping 1 cow or 2 cows or 20 cows, how you can personally be able to determine which semen that you select a semen that will be served to your own cow. See you and stay tuned as we show you step by step on how to check some of these factors to be able to determine which bull are you going to serve to your cow. And in this case, we are talking about an AI, an artificial insemination, which is one of the technologies that has ensured that Kenya, we are able to produce cows of very good genetics and also increase longevity in terms of production. See you as we practically show you how to select a cow and how to select a bull to ensure you have the best. Stay tuned as we talk. Before we do selection, one thing you should know is there is no a perfect cow. That means there is no a cow that will have 100% the good characteristics of a dairy cow. obviously they'll have one or two things that must be checked. But when you're selecting, ensure you select a cow according to the record and according to what you like to have in your cow. There is in terms of production and in terms of disease resistance. Here we have a cow by the name Lispa. I'm going to demonstrate on some of the factors that you have to check when you're selecting an AI to be able to serve this cow, and some of the criteria that we do use to ensure that we serve a cow that has better characteristics than what we have in this cow. I'll give you an example. When we talk about a stature in a cow, we means how tall the cow is. This length from here to the foot. If you see from this cow, it's a short cow. So whenever you're selecting an AI or a bull that is going to serve this cow, we ensure is a cow that has at least a longer stature, so that we can be able to have a cow that is a bit longer and not depreciate on our genetics. The other thing we do ensure we check on is on the udder. For example, this cow doesn't have what we call a perfect udder, whereby it's asymmetrical divided. So whenever you are selecting, we ensure that the cow that we have, the bull that we are going to have, will have an asymmetrical udder, which means has two chambers, four chambers, the back two chambers that are properly divided, and also the front chambers. And also ensure that, for example, for Lispa, she's a very good producer, but she has issues of fertility. And how do you know she has issues of fertility? Is determined by how many times it comes on heat, we breed it, and we serve using the AI, and how many times it repeats. For example, this cow actually sometimes even repeats 3 to 4 times, and which other cows do not do that. So when we are selecting, we select a cow that has a high fertility rate, so that the offsprings that we will get from this cow will have a very high fertility rate, and also we will ensure it's long enough and has a very deep udder. And for you to realize all that, you must have kept the records. And that's why we have this cow tagged, so that each time, each activity taking place in this cow, we are able to determine. Now, if you have your records kept at the right way, you are able to know some of the disadvantages of some of these cows. For example, someone will have in a farm whereby all the other cows are never affected with mastitis. Yet, a particular cow is highly affected with mastitis, despite even doing the teat dip and disinfecting your area. Now, when you'll be selecting your cow for in such case, you'll select a cow that has very low somatic cell. That is, the bull that you're going to serve should have very low somatic cells, so that you'll be able to determine some of these things like preventing of mastitis. The other thing we check is the feet angle. This point, the stepping point of a cow. For example, if your cow steps the ground like this, it's a very poor dairy cow. And to improve of that, you can improve by ensuring the offsprings do not have the same characteristics, by ensuring you breed with a cow that has a very good foot angle, to ensure that it has a good stepping ground, and also to ensure it's firm on the ground and prevent some of these foot rot and other diseases that come due to poor foot formation. After determining the kind of bull you have to serve to your cow, you should also remember genetics can also make a loss in your farm, or what we call stagnation. What I mean by a loss is, for example, you have a very good cow. If you do not check on all the parameters of the mother, so that you can have a very good bull, you can serve a bull that has very low qualities, hence you reduce the quality of your offsprings. That's why, for example, you have a cow that has a very good udder, do not only check on milk production, where the amount of milk you're going to get, but also check on some of these factors that are good in your cow and also can be transformed to the offsprings of the mother. Now, when it comes, a lot of people will ask a question of, when it comes to actually serving, for us we have 2 to 3 cows, we just call a vet and ask him like a cow A or B is on heat and we need it served. And we are not able to select the bull just because the vet who is coming to serve, is the only person who knows the bull he has. Or what we do is, we call a vet and actually ask him, which semen do you have and what is the cost? Most of us who serve our cows, the price is what determines the amount of semen that you're going to have. But this time, I want you to do differently, because I'm going to show you on how we can be able to select it. Despite even if there is an AI with a vet, you can be able to select. Now, this is what we do. Before, when your cow starts on heat, let's say it starts at in the very early in the morning, you have at least 8 to 12 hours before you serve that cow. Now, if your cow is on heat at that time, you still have hours to be able to select that bull that you want to serve to your cow. Now, what you do is you call your vet and ask him which semens or category does he have. He'll give you several of them and make sure you note down. For example, he'll give you probably something called like a bull. I have a bull called Bahati. I have a bull called Prince. Now, what you'll do, you'll take your smartphone and actually Google that. For example, you have a bull by the name Ted. You ask him which company is it. For example, can be from a CRI, can be from Wildlife Sire, can be a local breed from Kagri. You'll go to their website and indicate the name of that bull. And if you have several of them, you'll be able to Google. For example, you Google the name Ted. It'll give you the characteristics and compare to your cow. Does it have the characteristics that you want? And he gives you probably another one by the name Ronald. You have to Google the characteristics of that Ronald. See, does it have the characteristics that I want? You still have 8 hours. Because I'm very sure there is no vet who comes with only one single AI to serve your cow. They must have a variety of them. Now, by that, you can be able to determine, yes, you told me you have Ted, you have Ronald, you have this. For me, I need Ronald because of these and these characteristics. So when he'll be coming to serve, he'll serve you Ronald. And it's directly indicated on that straw, including the code. So it's an easy way as long as you have a smartphone and you can be able to have bundles and be able to select your cow that will produce for you in the future. Through selection, we can be able to maximize production of our own cows. And the best advantage of doing good selection is, I'll give you a simple example. If you have a cow that is actually feeding around 20 kgs of silage, 10 kgs of hay, and very good concentrate, a very good balance of feeds and concentrates, and that cow is producing 20 liters, you can be able to feed the same amount of feed and produce 30 liters. That is the advantage of genetics. Now, if you do not check on the feed side and feed the same poor quality feed and also have very good genetics and selection, your production will also be very poor. So all these factors, where we come from, breeding, selection, and production, are all met in one category of ensuring that you have proper balanced diet so that you can be able to take advantages of the good genetics you are getting in your farm. See you, and thank you for always following on us, and always make sure to subscribe so that we can have more lessons and more detailed lessons each time we meet. And don't forget to click the bell so that you can be notified anytime we have a new video. See you till next time. My name is Paul.